Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, Microsoft has high hopes for this game. The other day it launched and they announced Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is available today. But by available, I don't think they meant available to play, because it turns out the cloud streaming technology they're using is a little bit problematic. There's a lot of people who can't log in to play the game. So if we head on over to Steam, right now Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has an overwhelmingly negative review score, which is not good at all. So taking a look at the most helpful reviews, and the first one here, for anyone having trouble logging in, press Alt-Enter to switch to windowed mode and the cursor should appear. This person says, after 1 hour of loading screen gameplay, I can only say that this is the most immersive loading screen I have ever played. I enjoyed the short movie about a man and a plane, however it seemed quite expensive for its length, around 1 minute. I would wait until the loading screen is on sale before purchase because it does get quite samey after the 70th loop. I'm trying to keep it together here. Update. They have improved the initial movie with a PowerPoint presentation consisting of 2 slides. One is about a lot of people trying to see the movie, and the other one is about not being allowed to watch the movie. Expected to be up in the clouds by now, but have been grounded in an endless 97% server loop for the past hour. Guess I'm on the no-fly list. Edit 1. I've now been placed in a login queue because too many users are trying to connect at the same time. Well, at least I'm off the no-fly list, but a holding pattern isn't exactly progress. Edit 2. As an international flyer, I'm well accustomed to airport queues, but none have ever dragged on like this. 3 hours and counting, no queue number, no progress bar, just an endless void of waiting. Edit 3. Finally accessed the menu, but had to skip character creation as models wouldn't load. Training mode froze on a loading screen, restarted and tried career mode. Textures were missing and it crashed mid-render. 10 hours in and still no flight time. This has been a complete failure in execution. Nothing works as intended. Stuck at 97% on the loading screen for 65 minutes. Gave up and will try another day. One of the biggest companies on the planet, and they cannot get their servers right for launch day. And I think this comment sums things up very well. Now, based on what I've been told, the issue should now be fixed. I don't know if it's just a massive queue system that's working and they're keeping it that way, or if they've actually fixed the underlying issue. I mean, they initially implemented a queue system to try to slow down traffic, and it seemed like it was kind of working. Who knows here? In my opinion, this should have never have happened for such a big game. I mean, it's called Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And I'm wondering if they pushed it out because it's 2024 and we're almost in 2025 here, and maybe they didn't test or anticipate thoroughly what might actually happen when they release the game. Maybe they were in a rush to push it out. Who knows here? The studio is smaller for developers, but the publisher on this one is massive. It's Xbox Game Studios. This to me should have never have happened. It should have been tested, and this to me is a massive disaster. It's not a good look for the overall game. It's not a good look for the publisher on this one, and well, it kind of goes to show, in my opinion, what gaming is like in 2024. I've seen a whole lot of games released with some sort of issue day one that ends up getting fixed later on. So let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. What do you think about the entire situation? If you picked up the game, what was your experience like? And was there a difference between Steam and, I don't know, Xbox Game Pass or something like that? Was there a priority system in place? I've got no idea here. I don't want to start rumors or anything like that. It just seems, this is a massive kerfuffle that shouldn't have happened. And speaking about Steam, next up we're talking about Windows emulation on Android with not WinNow, but Winlator. And this is a fork of Winlator called Winlator GLIBC, and it turns out that it may have Steam up and running. Now, this version of Winlator has not released just yet, but it appears that the developer has gotten Steam running and working very well. Unfortunately, I've got no idea if they're going to release this version anytime soon, how much more development they've got on it, or anything like that just yet. But I am very curious to see what happens if they actually release it. I mean, this could be massive for Android gaming. And on a quick side note here, it appears that Winlator Turnip Driver version 25.0.0 revision 2 has just dropped. So if you've got a Snapdragon CPU with an Adreno GPU and you're using Winlator, you may want to check out this driver. It may work better for you, it may not. Moving on, and we're quickly following up on something we talked about yesterday, and that was Sony's intent to purchase From Software, or rather Kadokawa, who owns From Software, a massive media company. For those who may be unaware, From Software stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, and they're a company behind games like Demon Souls and Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Elden Ring. And it does turn out the rumor of Sony trying to purchase Kadokawa is confirmed. Now, it is worth pointing out there's a huge difference between intending to purchase something and actually purchasing something. Nothing has been purchased just yet. Things can go sideways, agreements could not be met, and even more here. I mean, something crazy could happen, like Microsoft trying to purchase Nintendo and being laughed out of the room. Who knows here? Anyways, this is the statement. There are some articles on the acquisition of Kadokawa Corporation by Sony Group Incorporated. However, this information is not announced by the company. The company has received an initial letter of intent to acquire the company's shares, but no decision has been made at this time. If there are any facts that should be announced in the future, we will make an announcement in a timely and appropriate manner. Now, I've seen a whole bunch of mixed reactions about this one. Some people are really excited about it and some people not so much. Some people are saying it's kind of a monopolistic move given the fact that Kadokawa is so huge. And some people have compared it to Microsoft purchasing Activision Blizzard. And maybe this should be reviewed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I know a few people left them in the previous video and they didn't seem to really like this acquisition. And continuing to speak about Sony, next up here we're talking about the PlayStation Portal. It appears the PlayStation Portal has gotten a brand new update to make it a lot more useful. So according to this blog post over on PlayStation Blog, an official source, they say PlayStation Plus Premium members will have access to test cloud streaming beta for select PS5 games on the game catalog. Now by select games, they really mean a whole bunch here. They say over 120 PS5 games from the PS Plus game catalog, including Dave the Diver, Monster Hunter Rise, and even more. There's quite a few games in there, and they say it's streaming up to 1080p 60 frames per second. Now, there are a couple of things worth pointing out here. One, this is a beta, so it may not work as anticipated. And number two here, it's restricted to people and regions that have PS Plus Premium. And they say to stream at 720p, you need at least 7 megabits per second, and 1080p is 13 megabits per second. So let me know your thoughts about this one in the comments below. Are you excited about this one? Does this make the PS Portal a little bit more attractive to you? And should they have offered this from the get-go? Next up, we're talking about something a lot of people seem to be very excited about, and that's a potential brand new Steam controller, a Steam Controller 2. Now, I'm not joking with you here, but this is just a rumor. A lot of people are saying it's probably true, and I think the source of this rumor is Brad Lynch. Anyways, Brad says, codename for Steam Controller 2 is Ibex, separate product from Deckard's Roy controllers. Both are being tooled for a mass production goal in their factories right now. That's why I know they're in the later stages of productization. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a release date or price or detailed specs or product images or anything like that just yet, because it's still technically a rumor. Although a lot of people are believing it, it still could not be true here. Anyways, Brad says it has symmetrical sticks. Honestly, this is not far off from Steam Deck Input has. I never care to say much about the Steam Controller 2 because even without leaks, anyone with common sense would come to the same conclusions. So we're going to have to wait and see on this one, but if Steam is releasing a brand new controller, I can't help to be a little bit excited about this one. I will be all for it. I will be testing it out. Next up, we're talking about speedrunning and Super Mario 64. And if you're a fan of speedrunning, you may be a fan of this news here. Suigi has just accomplished something incredible. This person tweets out, first person to hold all 5 main category Super Mario 64 world records at the same time. Literally the GOAT. This is, in my opinion, the greatest speedrunning achievement of all time. So at the time of filming, Suigi holds records for 0-star, 1-star, 16-star, 70-star, and 120-star runs. That is a whole lot. That is extremely impressive, and I'm wondering if someone's going to be able to beat them. Next up, we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV Mobile. Yes, you heard me correctly. This game has been announced for mobile. The reveal trailer is up on YouTube, and a lot of people seem to be very excited about this one, and a lot of people seem to be wondering how phones are going to be able to handle it. From my understanding, you will be able to play this game solo or with other people, and it is being developed by Lightspeed Studios, who is owned by Tencent and who were behind behind PUBG Mobile. I'm very curious to see how this one pans out, how it all works, and if it's free to play or if it's pay up front and then pay for additional DLC or whatever here. From my understanding, it's launching with 9 different jobs and more to be added later, but I could be wrong about that. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of details on specifics about this game just yet, but they do have a website where people can go on and pre-register, and I'm going to guess there's probably going to be pre-registration bonuses. And taking a look at a few comments on that trailer, and this person says, imagine your raid wiping because your healer died while crossing the road staring at his phone. This person says, I can finally do raids while taking a dump in a toilet. Best optimal gaming environment. And speaking about videos on YouTube, next up we're talking about Dynasty Warriors Origins, and this game is launching on January 17th of 2025. However, they've announced that a demo will be available on November 22nd. Now, from my understanding, the demo will be available for all platforms, but I could be wrong about that one. Anyways, if you wanted to see gameplay on this one and learn more about the game, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. Next up, we're talking about something I would say is a little bit crazy. It turns out that the Perfect Dark PC port is playable on the Nintendo Switch. I'm assuming this is a hacked Switch. It definitely looks like it. And I'm also surprised that the Switch is powerful enough to play the Perfect Dark 64 PC port. If you are curious about this one and wanted to learn more about it, there is a video up on YouTube, and again, like everything I talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. I don't hide my news sources. Next up here, while we've been talking about the Game Awards quite a bit, something has kind of flown under the radar, and that's the Google Awards of sorts. This is Google Play's Best Apps and Games of 2024, and it's being published right on Google's blog. If you are curious about this one, I do recommend checking it out. To be honest, there's some very interesting information here, and there's some apps I've never heard of before, and now I may check out. So for the best overall app, it was Partiful. Best overall game was AFK Journey. Best multi-device app was Max, and best multi-device game, no surprise here, Clash of Clans. And again, for full transparency, I probably don't agree with a lot of these winners, and that's okay. I mean, you're allowed to disagree with winners for categories. I'm assuming I'm going to disagree with Game of the Year for the Game Awards this year. Anyways, we'll wait and see on that one, but here, if you wanted to see the results, go on ahead and check them out, and let me know your thoughts on the best games and best apps. And was anything missed that you thought should have been on here? And last up here, we're talking about a new indie game that has just launched on Steam to very positive reviews. This one is called Threshold, and from my understanding, it is a horror game. They say in a lonely station atop a mountain, a train rumbles its precious cargo to places unknown. Now is your shift. Keep the pace, uncover a mystery. Fight for your last breath. The air is thin up here. Taking a look at the reviews, I think the big drawback here, and probably why it got some negative reviews, is the fact that the game is only an hour and a half long. But either way here, it might be worth checking out. It is, I think, well, it's $11 in Canada. I don't know what that means in the States. I'm going to guess like $8 or $7 overall, but at the same time here, if you played this one, if it's of interest, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.